Today, I would like to talk about a dynamic that almost all of us have experienced at least once in our lives. We are exploring 10 signs that someone is envious of you, which at its core simply means they resent you for possessing something they lack. Most of my content focuses on understanding narcissism and recovering from narcissistic abuse, and envy is a core trait that almost all narcissists possess. Your mere happiness is something they wish they could create for themselves, which is precisely why they target you for who you are and what you have. But envy isn't exclusive to chronic toxicity. It can happen to anyone wrestling with deep-seated insecurity. Now, what are the 10 most common signs that someone is envious of you? The first red flag is when your good news is met with an overacted performance of fake happiness. While genuine people also celebrate you loudly, a fake reaction always has a glitch. If you look closely, there is usually a split-second delay before the performance begins, a brief flash of shock or resentment in their eyes, instantly followed by an overcompensated smile. You feel the disconnect between their loud words and their cold energy. Often, they will become speechless or highly selective with their words, carefully editing themselves so they don't expose their true feelings. If they aren't asking follow-up questions, they have zero interest in your success. The next sign is when their interest abruptly fades into an awkward silence the moment you share positive news or future plans. It is a quiet, subtle form of stonewalling. By killing the conversation, they are trying to force you to stop talking about what makes you happy. Over time, this dynamic can make you feel guilty or out of place for sharing your wins, making you worry that you are bragging, which of course you aren't. Never let someone else's insecurity convince you to dim your light. Their silence is their issue to resolve, not yours to fix by minimizing your hard work. Next point on my list is when someone is being passive-aggressive or giving you backhanded compliments. Envious people love to throw little jabs disguised as jokes, solely to get your reaction. If you call them out, they will claim you're being too sensitive or they were just kidding. Trust me, they were not. They will happily do this in front of your social circle or coworkers to quietly humiliate you. Or they will tell you how they would have done things differently to make you feel inexperienced or even incompetent. Envious people love to see you stumble. They feed on Schadenfreude, which is a German word and basically means to find pleasure in your misfortune. When you do succeed, they will rewrite your entire journey as mere luck, completely ignoring the iceberg of hard work underneath the surface. Next, instead of using your journey as an inspiration to improve their own lives, envious people compare themselves to you and play the victim. They focus entirely on their lack, refusing to see the challenges you overcame to get where you are. By acting as if they have it so much harder, they attempt to make you feel guilty for your success, as if you are somehow responsible for their own stagnation. Personally, I've always been someone who tries to turn a negative into a positive, but they choose helplessness because dwelling in a negative loop is easier than building the motivation to pursue a passion or a goal of their own. Point number 5. They constantly try to minimize or one-up you. Whether they are competing with your appearance, your success, your material things, or even trying to upstage your natural empathy, or simply steal any kind of attention away from you. Their goal is to steal your spotlight. In highly toxic cases, they may even attempt to flirt with your partner, just to prove they can. I have an entire podcast on this titled 5 Ways Narcissists Upstage You, which I will link in the description below. Next, a person who envies you may be mirroring you. While imitation is often seen as the highest form of flattery, when it is driven by a hidden competitive urge, it becomes a major red flag. It feels unsettling to look at someone and see a carbon copy of yourself right in front of you. They don't just copy your style or clothing, they mirror the way you speak, the way you walk, the relationships and goals you pursue, the vacations you take, or materialistic things such as the cars you drive. It is a childish, completely inauthentic facade designed to capture the same attention that you receive. But because inauthentic people cannot sustain this artificial impression for too long, their performance always falls apart the moment you exit their orbit. When people put you on a shaky pedestal and treat you like a celebrity rather than a peer, they leave no room for you to be human. The moment you show vulnerability or question their motives, the illusion shatters. In dating, this kind of possessive mirroring is an immediate turnoff. It's why narcissists are often described as a patchwork of the people they have targeted. They copy so many traits to be accepted that they have completely forgotten who they are underneath the mask. The seventh sign that you're dealing with a person who is envious of you is incredibly prevalent in the workplace, especially among bosses who lack genuine leadership qualities. Out of fear of losing authority or an intense superiority complex, they will erase your contributions and take credit for your hard work to keep themselves on top and in control. Deep down, they know their own efforts aren't standard, and they live in a constant fear of being replaced. Ironically, their self-sabotaging behavior to control this fear usually ensures that their worst nightmare will come true. Next, when someone cannot match your caliber, they will attempt to discredit your character and possibly also your accomplishments through gossip, rumors, and lies. Damaging someone's reputation without evidence is unacceptable in both private and professional spaces. Toxic, envious individuals will often recruit flying monkeys to sabotage your support system, leaving you isolated while keeping their own curated public persona intact. It's all about impression management for them. Number 9. They try to manipulate, control, or even harm you. An envious person will gladly lead you down a path they know is a dead end. They may masquerade as a helpful ally, only to intentionally misguide you, flake on crucial commitments, or leave you completely stranded after promising they had your back. Pay attention to the continuity between their words and their actions. The contrast between who they pretend to be and how they actually show up tells you everything. They view relationships as transactional, using you for as long as it serves them, completely indifferent to the emotional or mental chaos or destruction they leave behind. The moment their manipulation stops working, they will hit a wall and lash out, revealing their true face. The final sign of an envious person is the extreme opposite of a loud reaction. They ignore you completely. In a close relationship where you cannot easily escape, they will neglect your personal needs to systematically erode your self-worth over time. In professional or social settings, they will look right through you, deliberately exclude you from meetings or events, and cut off communication. Rooms go silent when you enter. There are no comments on your posts, no congratulations for your milestones, and no acknowledgement of your presence. You simply become invisible, as if you've never even mattered. Why are envious people ultimately unsuccessful in perpetuating their own misery? Because they waste their limited time and energy focusing on other people instead of investing it in the right places to pave their own path. Let them stay distracted. Their victim mentality may serve them for a while, until it won't anymore. Their envy is simply externalized regret and resentment for the bad choices they have made in life. When they look at you, they envy your clarity, your courage, and your autonomy. So they dismiss it as luck or unfair advantage. Many people are simply too ashamed to face that level of personal accountability. There's a profound wisdom in the saying, keep your private life private. When it comes to navigating envy in our society, it often feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't dynamic all the time. If you would like to learn more about narcissistic abuse or my personal story, please check out the other videos on my YouTube channel and take a look at my book, Narcotic Love, which you can find on Amazon in both English and German. Thank you very much for listening, stay safe, and have a great day.